Level 1, the first 48 hours. The first thing you do is nothing. You sit in your apartment, the same apartment with the leaky faucet you've been meaning to call about for 6 months, and you stare at the confirmation document on your laptop. You close the laptop, then you open it again. The number is still there. You make a bowl of cereal because your body needs to do something normal or your brain is going to short circuit. The cereal tastes different. It isn't different. You are different. By morning, it's out. You don't know how. You didn't tell anyone. But the financial transfer of $1 trillion through the global banking system is not something that goes unnoticed by people whose entire job is to notice things. By 7 in the morning, there are 2 men in suits at your door. They are from the bank. They are very calm in the way that people are calm when they are trying to stop you from doing something catastrophic with a large sum of money in the next 24 hours. By 10 in the morning, there is a news van outside your building. By noon, there are 4. By 3 in the afternoon, your building has 47 people standing outside it. Some have cameras, some have signs. One man is holding a handwritten letter. You watch from your window. The letterman has been standing there for 2 hours. He hasn't moved. He is just holding the letter up at your building, like eventually the building will read it and respond. You order delivery for dinner. The delivery driver recognizes you. He asks for a photo. You say yes, because saying no feels wrong. He posts it. By midnight, your address is in the comments of 11 different social media posts. You need a security team. Not one bodyguard. Not 2. You need a full protective detail. 12 operators minimum, former military, armed, rotating shifts, the kind of setup usually reserved for people who run countries. You make the calls. Within 48 hours, it is done. You are now the most protected private citizen in the world. You are also the most famous. These 2 things are related, and neither of them is as good as it sounds. Level 2. The spending. The Honda Civic has to go. Not because you want a better car, because your security team has explained patiently and in some detail why a 23-year-old Honda Civic is a problem from a tactical standpoint. You need something armored. You need something with a communication system. You need something that, if necessary, can take a hit. You buy Bugatti. Not a Bugatti. The company. $2 billion. Your accountant logs it under miscellaneous acquisitions. It is approximately 0.2% of your net worth. The equivalent of someone earning $100,000 a year, buying a $200 jacket, and then forgetting about it. You still need somewhere to live. Your current apartment building is now a permanent media installation. Paparazzi have established what appears to be a rotating schedule. Someone has set up a folding chair across the street. You need a compound. 14 acres. Iron gates. A guardhouse manned around the clock. A private road that doesn't appear on public maps. A main house you cannot see from the entrance. $200 million. Easy. A compound that size does not run itself. You need housekeepers, groundskeepers, 2 private chefs on rotation because one chef gets tired and tired chefs make mistakes, and you are not eating a tired chef's mistakes. A property manager, a house manager, drivers, a full maintenance crew, an IT team dedicated exclusively to your security systems, a personal assistant. The personal assistant needs her own assistant, because she is managing more than any single human being should be asked to manage. Within 6 weeks, 63 people work at your house. 63 people whose entire professional purpose is the maintenance and operation of the place where you live alone. You also commission the largest private yacht ever built. Helicopter pad, submarine bay, full medical facility, cinema room, and a kitchen staffed by people who trained in restaurants that require a 3-month reservation. $600 million. You buy an island in the South Pacific. You buy a Boeing 747 and have the interior completely rebuilt into a flying residence. $400 million. A master bedroom at 37,000 feet. A dining table that seats 8. Cashmere everything. Here is the part nobody warns you about. $1 trillion in even the most boring investments on the planet generates tens of millions of dollars every single day. You wake up richer than you were when you fell asleep every morning, without doing anything, without lifting a finger, without making a single decision. The money makes money faster than you can spend it. You are not draining the ocean. You are trying to empty the ocean with a coffee cup while it rains. Level 3. The coffee. You want coffee. Not complicated coffee. Not a bespoke single-origin pour-over from a private reserve. Just coffee from the place you went every morning for 4 years before all of this. The place where the counter is slightly sticky and the music is always something from the 90s, and the barista knows your order and never makes a production of it. Your security team needs 45 minutes of advance notice. They need to assess the route. They need to position people outside. They need to verify the interior. They need to communicate with 3 other members of your detail who will be staged at intervals between your compound and the coffee shop. The advance team will arrive first, identify exits, assess sightlines, determine threat posture. You arrive. The advance team opens your door. You walk in. Every single person in the coffee shop stops talking. Not gradually. Simultaneously. Like someone hit a button, the barista's hands are shaking. A man in the corner has his phone raised above his laptop screen, pretending to stretch. 2 women at the window table are filming openly. Nobody is even trying to be subtle. You order your coffee? The barista gets it right. Of course she does. She has made this exact drink hundreds of times, and her hands are shaking, and she still gets it right, because muscle memory is a remarkable thing. You sit down. The coffee tastes exactly the same. Everything around it is different. You finish it and leave, because sitting there any longer feels like performing being a normal person in front of an audience, and you are not going to do that. You get back in the car. Your security team closes the door. You do not go back. Level 4. The people. Your phone rings constantly. None of the calls are from friends. They are from lawyers, wealth managers, charity directors, heads of state, university presidents, hospital boards, climate foundations, technology institutes, and a surprising number of people who represent other extremely wealthy people who would like to discuss a partnership. Everyone wants a meeting. Everyone wants your name attached to their thing. Everyone wants you to write a number on a piece of paper that makes their problem disappear. You write a check for $500 million to global disaster relief. The media covers it for approximately half a news cycle. In the context of what you have, $500 million is what you earn in a slow week, and everyone does the math immediately. People are grateful for about 18 hours, then they want more. They always want more. The ceiling of what is expected from you is not fixed. It rises every time you meet it. The friends from before start disappearing. Not all at once, gradually, the way things erode. Some just stop calling. The ones who still do sound different. Careful, measured. Like they are choosing each word before releasing it, like the wrong word might cause an incident. Your college roommate comes to stay for a weekend. He agrees with everything you say for 48 straight hours. He laughs at things that are not funny. He never pushes back. He never argues. He used to argue about everything. That was the friendship. The arguing was the point. Now he compliments the wine and agrees with your take on a film he hasn't seen, and leaves on Sunday morning saying it was perfect. It was not perfect. You know it wasn't perfect, he knows it wasn't perfect, and you both stand there and pretend together. Level 5. The lawsuits. The lawsuits start on month 2. Not 1, not 2, 19 in the first 6 months. An old acquaintance claims you shook hands on a business arrangement 11 years ago, and the handshake constitutes a binding verbal contract for 8% of your current net worth. Your legal team uses the word frivolous so many times it stops meaning anything. It becomes background noise. Frivolous, 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 like a sound a machine makes. A woman in Nevada says you promised her $15 million at a charity dinner in 2018. You have never been to Nevada. You have documentation proving you were in another country on the date she specifies. It does not matter. The filing still costs 6 figures to respond to. The headline still runs. The story still spreads before the correction does, because corrections do not spread. Corrections are small and boring, and headlines are large and interesting, and that is simply how information moves. You settle 4 cases. Not because they have merit, because fighting them publicly costs more than settling them quietly, and every settlement is a rounding error on a number that has too many digits to fit on a standard form. $1 million here, $3 million there. Your legal team stops bringing individual cases to your attention and starts sending weekly summaries instead. Page 1 of this week's summary has 11 new filings. You have an entire floor of a law firm working exclusively on your affairs. You have never met most of the lawyers. You communicate through your assistant, who communicates through her assistant, who communicates through a senior partner, who communicates through the associate handling your matter. The associate is 28 years old, billing $400 an hour, and working on your case feels to them like the most important thing happening in the world right now. To you, it is page 1 of a weekly summary. Level 6, the leak. Your head of security calls a meeting on a Wednesday morning. He is not an alarmist. He does not call meetings casually. When he calls a meeting, you attend it immediately and you do not check your phone during it. Someone on your household staff has been feeding information to a tabloid, not dangerous information. Routine things, what time you wake up, what you ordered for dinner, which car you used, small things that add up to a picture of your daily life being assembled and sold in pieces. Your team found the leak through metadata on a photograph that ran in a gossip column. The angle of the photo matched a specific window in the east wing of the compound. 3 staff members have access to that hallway. They narrowed it down in 48 hours. It is the housekeeper. 7 years of service at her previous employer. Excellent references. She started feeding information 6 weeks after joining your staff. She is escorted off the property Wednesday morning. You watch from the second floor window. She is carrying a cardboard box with the contents of her workspace. She does not look up at the window. A man in a suit walks her to the gate. Another man opens the gate. She gets into a car, and the gate closes, and the east wing hallway is empty, and her replacement is hired by Friday. You stand at the window for a while after the gate closes. You are not angry. That is the thing. You are not angry at her. You are just standing at a window in a house with 63 employees, thinking about what it costs a person to betray someone who trusted them and whether the tabloid paid her enough to make that cost feel worth it. You never find out what she was paid. Level 7. The brother. Your mother calls on a Sunday. She sounds the same. She always sounds the same. She asks if you are eating properly. She tells you about a bird that keeps getting into her garden and has so far defeated every deterrent she has tried. For 8 minutes, your shoulders come down and your jaw unclenches and you almost forget. Then she mentions your brother. He didn't ask her to call. He would never ask her to call. But he is behind on the mortgage, and his truck needs work. And you have more money than most countries, and he is family, and she is a mother, and this is what mothers do. You had no idea he was struggling. You send him $3 million that afternoon. No conversation, no call, just a transfer. You think about calling first. You decide the money will say what needs to be said better than you can. He does not call to thank you. 3 months later, at a holiday dinner, the whole family flies in on the 747. The dining table at the compound seats 30. There is a catering staff. There is wine that costs what the dinner table used to cost. Your brother sits at the far end. He talks to cousins, to aunts, to anyone who is not you. When you try to catch his eye, he stares at his plate. He leaves before dessert. He does not say goodbye. A week later, your mother calls again. Different tone, quieter. Your brother said something to your cousin, that you ruined the family, that everything changed when the money came. Your mother is not taking sides. She is calling because she doesn't know what else to do. She has a security detail she didn't ask for, a son who won't speak to his brother, a family that used to fit around a kitchen table and now requires a catering staff and a flight plan and a compound with a guardhouse to occupy the same room. You tell her you will talk to him. You don't. What would you say? You can't unsend the money. You can't undo the 747. You can't walk into his house without 2 armed men waiting in the driveway. The gap between your lives is not something a conversation closes. It is not something anything closes. You know this, he knows this. That is the whole problem. Level 8. The night. On a Tuesday, you take the yacht out. The ocean is so blue, it looks like something rendered on a computer. The sunset turns the water gold and then red, and then a dark purple that doesn't have a name. Dinner is prepared by a chef who spent 12 years in Michelin-starred kitchens before you hired him away from a restaurant in Lyon. The table is set for one. You eat alone. The food is extraordinary. You eat alone. You get back to the compound and go to bed early. The master suite is larger than your first apartment and your second apartment combined. The ceiling is very white. The sheets cost more than most people spend on a month of rent, and they feel exactly like expensive sheets feel, which is to say, they feel fine. They feel like sheets. Somewhere around 3 in the morning, you are awake. You get up. The compound is completely silent. You walk through the theater room. 60 seats. The screen is dark and the seats are empty, and it smells like a cinema that has never been used, which is almost exactly what it is. You walk the main hallway, the library, the study, the second living room. Everything is exactly where it should be, maintained to a standard that requires constant professional attention, and none of it has anything to say to you at 3 in the morning. You go outside. The grass is wet from the sprinklers, cold under your feet. You walk to the middle of the lawn. The sky is the same sky you used to look at when you were broke. Same stars, same silence. Same depth that makes you feel small in a way that is somehow okay. You used to lie on the roof of your old building and stare up at it for hours, when the rent was late and the faucet was leaking and you had nowhere to be. The stars haven't moved. Everything underneath them has. You stand there until the cold gets into your bones. Then you go inside. You go back to bed. At 7 in the morning, your assistant sends the daily brief. Your portfolio grew by $42 million overnight. You don't respond. You come back from a week in Japan. Your assistant meets you on the tarmac. She asks how the trip was. Great, you tell her. You mean it. Japan was great. Japan was the first week in months where nobody knew where you were. Back through the gate, past the guardhouse, past the pool you have used 4 times, past the tennis court you have never touched, past the wine cellar with bottles that cost more than most people's car payments, into your office, 7 screens, your portfolio, your companies, your calendar, a news ticker that mentions your name in the first 30 seconds. You sit down. Outside, security does a shift change. The groundskeeper starts the mower. The chefs are in the kitchen preparing something for a lunch you may or may not eat. 63 people move through the compound with quiet, practiced efficiency. The whole machine hums. You are the only reason any of it exists. You are the only one who lives here. Here's the thing about $1 trillion that nobody tells you before you get it. The money solves every problem that money can solve. And it turns out that the problems money can solve are not the ones that keep you up at 3 in the morning, standing barefoot on a wet lawn, staring at a sky that doesn't care what your net worth is. The lawn is always perfect. The stars are the same.